Patty, if Richard wants to ride his motorcycle around Brooklyn Heights at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning and wake up the whole population, that's his business. But you tell him he'll have to find another passenger because you can't go.
Papa, it's a brand new second-hand motorcycle, and Richard wants to try it out. Naturally, he wants me with him.
What's so natural about that?
The subject is closed.
Oh, Mama, it'll break his heart.
Patty, I think that you are now reaching the age where you should be thinking about more ladylike pursuits than riding on the back of a motorcycle.
Okay. Now, since I'm an old lady, I think I'll take up crocheting.
I'm sure you can find a happy medium, dear.
Your cousin Kathy would never think of riding around with Richard on his motorcycle.
She better not.
Well, it just wouldn't do you any harm to emulate Kathy a little more.
I guess you're right, Papa. I am a little far out sometimes. Good old Kathy, always got her 2 feet on the ground. Okay, from now on, I'm going to do everything that she does.
Well, there's no need to go overboard. It's just you could pick up a few pointers from her.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day. Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll. A hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet. Still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Boy, you really got caught in a thunder shower.
Yeah, except the sun is shining outside. What happened, Kathy?
Why, got a little wet.
No. Darling, are you all right?
Yes, Aunt Natalie, I'm fine, thank you.
Well, how on earth did you get all wet?
I'd better get into some dry clothes. Excuse me.
What in the world happened to her?
I don't know, but she sure doesn't want to talk about it.
She'll tell us when she's ready.
Well, maybe she's not ready, but I am. Hi, Cuz.
No.
No what?
No, I don't want to discuss it.
Kathy, you can't walk into the house soaking wet and say you don't want to discuss it. Did you have a water fight with somebody? No. You walked in front of an open fire hydrant? Of course not. You invented a rainmaking machine?
Patty, let's just forget about it.
Okay. We'll forget about it. What is it I'm forgetting about?
My allowance check came. I'll treat you to a movie tonight.
Somebody pushed her in a swimming pool. Hello? Kathy Lane? Just a minute, I'll get her. Who's calling, please? A reporter from the New York Metropolitan? The New York Metropolitan is calling Kathy Lane? What is it in reference to, please? In reference to her heroism today. When she jumped in the lake at the park and saved a boy who was drowning? Kathy? Oh, sure, you can send a reporter. Hey, and you better send a photographer, too. I mean, that's the least you can do for a heroine. Bye.
But, Kathy, I think you should be very proud of what you did.
If Patty had done it, she would have come in with a neon sign.
Kathy, you saved somebody's life. Do you know what that means? Yes.
It means there's going to be a big fuss about it, and I don't want there to be. But, Patty, you shouldn't have told that newspaper to send a photographer and a reporter.
Tell us what happened, Kath.
It wasn't anything, Uncle Martin. I happened to be walking by the lake in the park, and I heard someone calling for help. I saw a boy swimming, and he seemed to be having a cramp. There was no one else around, so I jumped in and pulled him out. She just jumped in and pulled him out. Have you ever heard such modesty?
They usually give medals for things like this, you know.
Your picture will be on the front page.
I just did what anyone else would have done. And I'd really prefer not to have a big thing made about it. It's too late.
Yeah. Now you belong to the ages.
He's right, Kathy. Heroism has to be rewarded. And I'm going to help him. Here comes the backfield. Watch how silly Tony acts. He's got a real crush on me.
Hi, Kathy.
Hello, Tony.
Heard what you did yesterday. That's the bravest thing I ever heard of.
Are you scared?
Well, I didn't have much time to think about it.
You've really got what it takes.
You going to class? I'll carry your books. How'd you like to see a movie tonight?
I think I'm free.
Hi, Patty. What are you staring at?
My cousin, the heroine. Come on.
Before we begin class, there's another matter I'd like to take up. I'm sure that by now you've all heard about the wonderful act of courage that was displayed yesterday by one of our classmates. Kathy, would you stand up, please? You've brought honor to all of us by what you did, Kathy. Risking your own life to save the life of a stranger is the highest act of valor. Would you care to say a few words to the class about it?
Thank you, Miss Castle. There really isn't much to say. I'm sure that everyone here would have done the same thing in the same situation. Thank you. Boy, what conceit. No, I'm sorry. I don't know when she'll be back. Okay, I'll give her a message. Thank you. That was the Bugle calling. They want to do a feature story on Kathy. Do you know that that's the 10th call she's had in the last hour? And look at this. Teenager saves lad. Right on the front page. With the situation the world is in, you think they'd have more important things to write about than that.
I don't understand you, Patty. You were the one that told the reporter and the newspaper man to come over. You said it was the bravest thing you'd ever heard of. Now, suddenly, you act like she did something terrible.
Richard, if there's anything I can't stand, it's a show-off.
Patty, you're not jealous of Kathy, are you?
Who? Me? Of course not. It just isn't fair, Richard, that's all.
What isn't fair?
The only reason Kathy is a heroine is because she was in the right place at the right time. Now, I could have been there instead.
If you'd have been there, he'd have drowned. You can't swim.
Everybody's making such a big fuss over her. You think nobody'd ever saved anybody's life before.
She did a very brave thing.
I'm not trying to take that away from her, Richard. It's just that Kathy is not a natural-born heroine.
And you are.
Well, at least I'd know how to handle the situation.
I think Kathy is handling it fine.
Oh, the whole thing's gone to her head. Richard, I tried to give her the benefit of my advice, and she wouldn't even listen to me. That's probably Life magazine wanting to put her on the cover. Hello? No, Kathy isn't home. Who's calling, please? Roger who? Oh, that Roger. It's the boy she saved.
A voice from the dead.
No, there really isn't any point in coming over, Roger, because Kathy's not home. Just a minute, Roger. She just came in. Why don't you come over? Yeah, she'll be waiting for you. See you then.
Here comes who?
Kathy. Roger wants to talk to her. This is my chance to find out the truth.
The truth about what?
The truth about what really happened.
But we know what happened.
Do we? Richard, doesn't it strike you as a little peculiar that Kathy doesn't even want to talk about it?
Not at all. Kathy's just naturally modest.
Or maybe she's just naturally afraid that we'll find out that she fell into that lake by mistake. Or that he wasn't even drowning at all. Or that it was only 3 feet of water. Richard, I'm about to explode a myth. Hello, Roger.
Hello, Kathy. I brought these for you.
Oh, thank you. Come in, won't you?
Thank you.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Well, we had quite a day yesterday, didn't we?
Yes. I saw the story in the newspaper this morning.
Did you? Well, it really wasn't very accurate, was it?
Well, it didn't tell the whole truth.
No, it didn't, did it? But we know the whole truth, don't we?
Yep.
It didn't mention that some parts of the lake were only a few feet deep.
Why should they?
Why should it? I'll bet you're a wonderful swimmer.
Well, I was on the varsity swimming team.
I knew it.
But that doesn't help much when you've got a cramp. Does it?
No, it doesn't, does it? Roger, when I fell into that lake...
Fell in? That was one of the most beautiful dives I've ever seen.
Oh. Well, it looks like I really saved your life, doesn't it?
I can't tell you how grateful I am, Kathy.
Roger.
Which is which?
I'm Kathy. And I'm Patty, her cousin. Nice to meet you, Roger. We were just having a little chat. Oh? About what? About you a lot.
Patty almost convinced me you didn't save my life.
Did she? Well, I guess you two have a lot to talk about. It was very nice to meet you, Roger. Goodbye.
It's amazing. She's exactly like you.
Yes.
Hello, Momo, Papa. That's French.
Our son, the linguist. Hey, that's a clean plate.
Yeah, thanks. Are we all going down to City Hall to watch Kathy get a medal?
Well, of course we are. How often do we have a hero in the family?
Every day. I should get a medal for living with Patty.
Lois, have Patty and Kathy been quarreling the past few days?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, that's good.
They don't talk to one another, but they haven't been quarreling.
I'm going down to the post office to mail this letter. Can I get you anything?
No, thank you, Kathy.
We were just talking about your medal.
Oh, I don't suppose there's any way I could refuse that without seeming ungrateful.
Why would you want to refuse it?
I just would.
Because of Patty.
She seems so upset about it, I'd really rather let the whole thing drop.
We're not going to do anything of the kind. I think I'll have a little talk with Patty.
I wish you wouldn't, Uncle Martin. She hates me enough already.
Patty doesn't hate you.
She's certainly been acting like it.
Patty wants all the attention, and you're getting it.
But I don't want it.
Kathy, you are going to go down and pick up that medal. And if I know Patty, she's going to be pretty proud of you.
To that piece of junk. It's tin. But when I get a medal, it's going to be solid gold.
Thought you were going to the movies with Kathy.
Oh, I changed my mind. It's too crowded.
The movie's too crowded?
Kathy's too crowded. You can't get near her. You think she was Joan of Arc the way everybody swarms all over her.
Makes you feel proud, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's enough reflected glory for all.
If you like reflected glory. Personally, I'd like to go out and get my own. You know something? It's exactly what I'm going to do. See you later.
Now switch it to a 3-column layout and get it in here as fast as you can. I'll have Al standing by. Right. Yes? Oh, good, Joe. We'll take that up at the editorial meeting this afternoon. Fine. Okay, goodbye.
Hello, Uncle Martin.
Hello, Kath.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, this is a wonderful surprise. Yeah, we should come down here more often.
Well, I really don't find much free time during the day.
But you managed to find it today. Well, what can I do for you?
I've come to ask a favor, Uncle Martin.
You name it, you've got it.
Aunt Natalie told me you were going to write a Sunday feature story about me.
That's right.
That's the favor.
I don't understand.
I don't want you to write it.
Now, if Patty sent you down here...
No, I haven't discussed it with Patty. As a matter of fact, she's not even talking to me. That's why I don't want you to write the article.
Well, I'm sorry, Kath. There's nothing I can do about it. In the first place, it wasn't my idea. It was suggested to me by my boss. I thought it was a very good suggestion. I still do. And it's going to appear in the Chronicle on Sunday. Patty doesn't have to read it.
I'm sorry I troubled you, Uncle Martin. At least I have learned a lesson.
What lesson is that?
Well, the next time I see someone drowning, I'll let him. See you, Tom. See you, Tom. I've never tried analysis before. I don't know if it'll work or not. I guess the idea is to be able to talk out your problem. I think I've just about figured out what's bothering me. You see, usually I'm not jealous of Kathy. Like the time that she got all the highest marks in the whole school. I was so proud I was ready to bust. Or the time that she won the music scholarship. I was so happy to think I'd won it. So basically, I really don't think I'm jealous of Kathy. Basically. I mean, when she sticks to her own territory. But you see, Doc, when she became a hero, well, that's more in my line. I mean, I'm much more the type. I guess I felt what you psychiatrists would call threatened. Does that make sense to you? Makes sense to me. You know something? I feel a lot better after getting this all off my chest. What do you think?
Well, how should I know? I'm just trying to do this crossword puzzle.
You guys are wasting your time. Tell them, Kathy.
Why don't we all have a soda together? Patty, won't you join us? Gee, I'd love to, Kath, but I'm afraid I have another engagement. You run along. All right, for sure.
Come on, Tagger. Everybody's going over to the shake shop.
You're wrong. We're not.
But I'm thirsty.
Well, have a drink of water.
What's gotten into you?
Nothing, Rich. I'm just tired of hanging around with all the kids. Why don't we take a walk by the park lake?
Again? We've walked by there every day, and it's not even on the way home.
All right, nobody's forcing you to go with me.
Look, just because you got some crazy idea in your head...
Rich, I'll go alone. Why don't you go to the shake shop with Kathy?
Maybe I'll just do that.
Who needs him anyway?
Hello, Patty.
Hello, Miss Moore. Miss Moore? Miss Moore?
Yes, Patty.
Could I ask you a question?
Of course.
I know I'm not in your psychology class or anything, but well, I thought maybe you could help me with a problem that two friends of mine are having.
I'll be very happy to try.
They're two boys, cousins, and one of them is jealous of the other one.
Do they like one another?
Oh, yeah, they're crazy about each other. It's just that one boy did something to make the other one jealous. He doesn't want to be jealous, but can't seem to make himself stop.
It sounds as though he's rather immature.
No, he isn't. I mean, he's really a wonderful boy. If it weren't for this little problem, I think he'd really be quite a remarkable young boy.
Are these close friends of yours?
Yeah, I think you could call him that.
Why don't you have them come in and see me?
They can't do that. They live out of town. In Africa. They just moved there recently.
I see.
I was going to write them a letter and include your information.
Well, if this boy is as wonderful as you say he is, I'm sure he has nothing to be jealous of. All he needs to do is develop his self-confidence.
Develop my self-confidence.
It's always a mistake, Patty, to compete with anybody else. The only person you should ever be in competition with is yourself.
I don't understand.
If you do the very best that you know how, You never have to worry about what anyone else is doing. Write that to your friend.
I will. Thank you very much, Miss Moore.
And be sure to say hello to Kathy.
Kath, I brought something home for you. This is an advance proof of Sunday's Chronicle.
Oh. It's lovely, Martin.
You didn't say anything about me.
Aren't you pleased?
Oh, yes, it's very nice. Thank you, Uncle Martin.
I already sent a copy to your father. I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
Wait till Patty sees this. She'll go up in smoke.
Don't worry about Patty. She'll be fine. Where is she?
She hasn't come home yet.
Isn't it a little late for her to still be at school?
Well, she's with Richard. I'm sure she's all right.
She is usually home by this time.
Perhaps Patty stopped at the library.
Patty who?
Well, maybe she did go over to Richard's house. Why don't I call there? She probably didn't realize how late it was.
Hi, folks.
Hello, Richard.
Where's Patty?
I thought she was with you.
No, I haven't seen her since school let out.
But you usually walk her home.
Well, I haven't been walking her home lately, Mrs. Lane.
Why not?
Because I got tired of walking her over to Park Lake every day.
Why would she want to go over to Park Lake every day?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Of course I would.
Well, I think she wanted to go over there because she's hoping to find someone drowning so she can rescue them.
I don't believe it.
Oh, that doesn't sound like Patty.
Does to me.
Richard, don't you have any idea where she is?
No, sir. She could be anywhere.
Patty. What happened?
You're soaking wet.
Darling, did you have an accident?
I want to go home.
You did it. She saved a kid. She's a hero.
Congratulations, Patty. That's wonderful.
Now we can go into the hero business.
I ought to call the newspapers right away.
Imagine having two heroes in the family.
What are you talking about? I pulled her out of the lake. I think I know now what made me do it.
She felt threatened.
She what?
It's a psychiatric expression we psychiatrists use.
You see, all the time I thought I was jealous of Kathy, and I hated myself for it. That's why I kept going back to the lake.
But you just wanted to get your share of attention.
Well, that's what I thought. But that wasn't it at all, Papa. I was just afraid to admit the truth to myself.
What was the truth?
That I was a coward. You see, I kept asking myself, what would happen when the moment came when I'd have to jump in the water? And I didn't know. I thought, what if I just stood there and watched somebody drown? So I had to find out. Patty. So I kept hanging around the lake, waiting for somebody to fall in so I could test myself. Soon I started hoping somebody would fall in.
What happened this afternoon?
Well, I saw this boy fooling around on the shore. And I watched him. And there was a tree that was hanging over the water where it was pretty deep. And he climbed the tree, and a limb broke and he fell into the water.
What did you do?
I almost turned and ran home. But I knew I couldn't do that, so I jumped in after him. The only thing was he thought I was drowning, so he pulled me out.
I see.
You know the terrible part? I found out I am a coward. A coward? What makes you say that? Because when I jumped in that lake, I was scared to death. Patty, I let you in on a little secret. So was I. You were? Terrified.
Honey, a hero is a coward who does something brave. There's no special merit in getting involved in a situation you're not afraid of. And it doesn't matter who pulled whom out. The only thing that matters is that you were willing to risk your life to save the life of that boy.
Well, I guess we go back to City Hall again.
Isn't it lovely having two heroes in the family?
3, remember? I have to live with her.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind.